What's up, everybody? Once again, it is I, James, coming to you from the Nerdy Mewzings podcast studio. I am very excited to be joined by Mr. Keith Morange today. How you doing today, Keith?
Doing great, man. Thanks for
I,
having
I
me on.
killed I killed the pronunciation of the last name, didn't
That
I?
was perfect. That was perfect.
Regionally correct pronunciation of the last name.
Yeah,
How you doing today?
good. Uh, Hard at work finishing skylights. I'm almost done coloring that. And
Yeah.
yeah, just storyboarding here and there.
You're one of these guys that does everything. You know, when you take on doing your own independent comic book, you're like penciling, inking, coloring, doing it all.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of comics for me is that I storyboard for a living. I do like live action storyboards. So that's all collaboration and it's work,
Right.
it's like work for hire. So it's other people telling me what to do, what to draw, and all that. Comics is the only place that is no compromise. You can do whatever you want, and
Yeah.
that's the appeal of it is not having no collaboration.
Yeah. Not having anybody put their 2 cents in and tell you which direction to go with it, right?
Yeah, asking permission and is this okay for you and all that. And that's what it's kind of rock and roll about it. And
Yeah.
there's no other medium you can do that with.
Now, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I do want to talk about your book, but I wanted to talk a little bit about your background and your love of comics. I always like asking guests where that started for them, kind of what's your earliest memory of engaging with a comic and what struck you first about it. I'm guessing it was the art given where we're at today.
Well, I recently posted about this. Uh, my earliest first comic that I remember was um, a Hulk, Incredible Hulk by Sal Buscema,
Yeah.
and another um, like compilation about this big of Superman, which was all
Nice.
a bunch of Curt Swan stuff. And it was all black and white. You know those books that they came out with? They're
Yep.
pretty old. And I wish I had it right here. I would show you what I'm talking about. But it was just like a bunch of like Chris Swan, Superman stuff compiled, recut to fit the small format. And it was my brother's, and we were both. He was drawing flip books in the bottom corner pages, and I was coloring the black and white
Oh,
prints.
that's
So it
so
was a
cool.
mess. It was a real mess. But those are my earliest two like comics that I remember, and that was like I was like 5, 4. So superheroes have always been there. They've
Yeah.
always been there. Super Friends, and then the stuff on TV, Incredible Hulk TV show, Greatest American Hero, like
Oh, you got me there. I
reruns.
love the greatest American hero.
Oh, that was that.
Yeah.
I loved all that stuff, all the hero stuff.
Yep. Yeah, same
Yeah.
here. I can
So
hear the theme.
superheroes were
I
always
can
there.
I can hear the theme music right in my head right now, the greatest American hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not gonna sing it. I'll do the audience a favor and we
No,
won't
we
we
can't
won't
do
do a
that.
duet on here.
Well,
Yeah, it's such an integral part of my childhood too, and I have those same memories of the cartoons and everything, and the TV shows, and um, yeah, I always find that for most of the artists that I have on, it starts pretty early for us, doesn't it?
absolutely. I mean, and my dad was an artist. He didn't go that route, but he definitely could have. And I was always going to like, hey, draw me this,
Yep.
draw me a Hulk, and he would, or draw me Superman or whatever.
Yeah.
And when he had the time, when he was there, and seeing that come all together, you know, and like he laying out the figure
Yep.
and then start filling it in, and the way he drew it had an influence too on me. It was just a it was like magic to
Yeah.
see stuff that I saw on TV, end up appearing on flat piece of paper. So I mean, that's that.
Yeah.
It is like there's a magic to it.
Yeah, it sparked the wonder in us.
Oh,
Like
for
for
sure.
me, that was my mom. My mom, I could ask her to draw something and she would draw it, and I was just baffled at it's like, how does she do that? And then I would try, to emulate and everything. And that's kind of my earliest memories of really wanting to learn how to draw. So you're a young guy, you're looking at comics, you're emulating. Um, at what point in your young life did you start kind of going in the direction of thinking that art may be something you wanted to pursue?
Oh, immediately. It was like I was drawing my own comic books and stapling them together like with or taping them
Mm-hmm.
um like on line paper, like
Yeah.
notebook paper. Uh it and when I got into high school, I was like by the second year of high school, I think I was really wanting to be an animator
Mm-hmm.
and go that route, which led me to look at film, which led me to back to comics. It was just like this, you know,
Yeah.
this. I had this romanticized version of what working in the industry would be like,
Right.
um, based on all the books I read and the accounts of the old Disney animators and
Yeah.
what that life was like, and illustration of the '60s, and you listen to the old guys in the old guard in the illustration world and all of that. And uh, you get to a point. I think whatever route I went, had I gotten work and working on a comic, I would have ended up where I am now,
Right.
which is doing my own stuff. Whatever, freeway I would have taken, I would have taken the exit to where I am now, and that's doing my own independent projects in comic book form and doing freelance stuff on the side.
It's funny because you're not the first guest that I've had on that's in that world that you're in, as far as Hollywood or working in film and animation and being on that side of their artistic journey, and then it always comes back to comics. Like I had the writer Adam Beechin on. He's done a lot of
Mhm.
work in animation. I had the director of What If, Stephen Frank, was on here, and they all come back to comics. It's like that original love of comics just never leaves, and you guys end up making your way back and then like creating your own stuff.
For me, it's the best art form. It's my chosen medium. Uh, will I do movies, direct movies someday? I don't know, but to be able to sit down, write, then develop and draw and complete an entire story with the visuals. You got the character acting, you're a director in the
Unlimited
page,
budget.
and yeah, and you can. I find myself thinking ahead, like if I do make this, or if somebody does make this, the most of the budget will be at this part, or this won't
Yeah,
cost too much,
exactly.
while I'm drawing it. So my mind's just kind of like in both fields.
Yeah.
Um,
There's that classic Jack Kirby quote about how his budget is basically limited to the cost of his art supplies.
yeah,
Unlimited
yeah,
budget. It comes from his pencil.
no limits, no
Yeah.
limits, uh, except what we set.
Yeah. Now, so you said originally you were kind of leaning towards animation. What ended up taking you down the path of becoming a storyboard artist?
That was my thought of like being in, more involved in story,
Okay.
um, because I thought it's so limiting to to draw one character, or you're assisting in between, or what they call in betweens, when like a lead character animator will draw keyframes,
Mm-hmm.
which is like basically, you know, the
Yeah.
batter up to follow through. So
Yep.
it's A and B, and then the in betweener would fill in those frames based on those keyframes. So that wasn't too exciting to imagine doing.
Right.
So I was always kind of in the story realm of, I want to tell stories. And so that kind of, led me around to studying film and maybe considering film, and then live action storyboards. They need storyboards for films and live action. So that was appealing. And I started doing that for commercials and videos, and like music videos and short films and stuff like that in 2014, getting an
Okay.
agent in LA. Yeah.
And what are some of your notable, well, what was your first big project that you got on as a storyboard artist?
Oh, it's hard to remember, but the one that sticks out was like probably a Katy Perry music video.
Okay.
I was like, this is a step out of the commercials. Now I got a music video. But I mean, I treat all jobs the same,
Right.
like whether it's a small thing, or because at the end of the day, what it is still customer service.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody's paying you in that way for a tool, basically like storyboards, it's customer service, and your job is to give them what they need, not what you think will be cool, or change
Right.
things up for them, or to give them new ideas unless they
Yeah.
really need it. Or, like, I offer solutions at times where they maybe didn't think of this, or they run into a problem. I'll bring it up. I'll be like, well, what about this? Because you have a
Yeah.
camera here and there. So just little things like that, and which turn out to be a big help for them. And if you do it right, where you're not a problem, and you're like, you got that covered for them, you usually get a return client. They usually come back because it was one less thing that they had
Yeah.
to deal with, and it's just a little piece in the overall production. And that's the collaboration aspect. That's the
Yeah.
collaborative world.
That's yeah. Yeah, it's such an integral piece too. I mean, the pre-planning stage is huge, especially with the budgets and things that they're having to work on and everything to get that time to shoot and everything. It's such
Mm-hmm.
valuable time that the more they can have worked out on the storyboard ahead of time, it has to be a critical piece of the puzzle.
I think it is. I know some people
Yeah.
don't like storyboarding. I've had plenty of jobs where that is the case, where they feel like it's locked down. I even lost some jobs because being on one in particular, uh, the DP um, didn't want a storyboard. He
Mm.
didn't want to be told what to do, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like, there's leeway there. You're not locking in. It's basically like a visual shot list for everybody knows what shot's coming up.
Yep.
So, it's a communicative tool for the whole crew and get everything running smoothly, especially on tight deadlines.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of aspects that go into to what storyboards is, and one of those things really isn't pretty pictures. It's not about getting, where comic books is about, like, somewhat finished.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's a
it's,
perfect segue because I wanted to ask you, how tight do you like to go on your storyboards? Are you fairly loose? Do
yeah,
you fall? Yeah, because you got to, speed is a key element of it, isn't
yeah,
it? Like getting it done and
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like the average. I mean, you can range from, some projects are like, uh, 20 to 25 frames per day.
Okay.
Um, Sometimes you get somebody who needs the volume of frames. Then you're doing Uh, you know, the most I've probably done in a day is like 50.
Wow.
Um, somewhere in that range, somewhere up there.
Yeah.
And after a week of that, you're pretty burnt out.
I bet. You keeping them in that what would be similar to like a comic book thumbnail type of structure?
Yeah, it's like, like the old Dragnet thing, just the facts, man.
Yeah.
It's just like just what you need.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
you don't have
enough
time
there to
to,
be able to tell it's a person turning their head and looking over their shoulder or whatever it may be.
yeah, and to differentiate between characters sometimes, which has casting details, and to make that clear to everybody too. And a lot of times they're just using this to get to the next stage to show the company, the client,
Yeah.
the people that hired them.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah,
they're not
that's what
creative people. Those they
Yeah.
pretend they like to think they are, but they're not.
Have you ever had to resist the temptation to go in and make something a little too finished looking, like a face or
Um,
something, and then you
it
got to
gets
remind
it gets to me
yourself?
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I bet.
it gets to me because it feels sometimes when work is it's very much storyboarding every day and a lot of work of that. It starts to feel like you're losing,
Mm,
because um you're not having the satisfaction um, of that finished product that you can show. And storyboards are kind of an invisible art in that way. A
yeah.
lot of stuff is just throwaway. Like nobody will ever see it.
Yep.
It's a tool and you kind of feel used and wasted in that way. Yeah.
I bet. Yeah, I was thinking that would be a struggle for me too, to like pull back and be like, this doesn't have to be a fully rendered shot of this person. Just get it done and move on to the next frame,
I, I've gotten, yeah, I've gotten a little better at that removal lately. Just in this past year, I think I finally hit
There you
where I
go.
was,
3
yeah,
decades
just
in, you're ready to go.
well, yeah, since 2014, been doing it. So
Okay,
yeah,
yeah. So
12 years.
over, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's over a decade is a substantial amount. You're hitting your stride now.
Well, with the industry the way it is, it's pretty slow.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of those factors that come in with AI and everything like that.
That's, I was going to ask you about that. Any concerns that raises? I mean, I can think of quite a few when it comes, especially for concept artists and things. I think it's going to be a big problem. But the more I
Mm,
see how it's evolving, it looks like there are a lot of areas that aren't necessarily safe and secure, especially when it comes to the fact that these big studios and things, it all comes down to saving money, I would think. So if they can just put in a few prompts and have one person come in and refine the result, they're probably going to go that route a lot of the time.
that is happening, yeah, for sure. Um, my where the stage of grief that I'm at is just acceptance at this
Yeah,
point that the world is going to decide what it does with it, and me crying about it or complaining about it
not going
and
to do
hating on it isn't
anything.
going to do anything.
Yeah,
And AI is so integrated into everything we're using now. Um, I mean, even in the time that it was time to be vocal about it and to do something about um, safeguards for artists as far as the unions go, which they
yeah,
didn't really do anything. I think that uh, it would have been just it's too big. It's too big to have guardrails
yeah. It
that
really
are
is.
going to um it's not going to stop. We can have like, regulations and things like that, but the overall encroachment of AI onto all our lives is already here. And it's like, how do I exist within that? Um, I'm not going to, I, you know, I like doing. things the way I've been doing them with my art.
Yeah.
So I don't plan on using. I see useful ways for AI, like people using these and creating these short, um, kind of they're using them for pitches and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen people using it, like artists who have created their own work, but then they're like using AI to make it into like a little animated clip to
Right.
advertise their Kickstarter or whatever. Like
Yeah.
they're essentially using it like you would a filter, and they're going,
Mhm.
here's the piece I already created, and they're animating it. And then people are like, oh, cool. But yeah, it gets tough because that's a buddy they could have had animate that for them and put a little cash in their pocket, but
Yeah. But I mean, I see, you know, the real, the real problem with it to me is I don't want people to see, while it's kind of fun to like put in your drawing and then suddenly see it move within a few
right.
seconds, which I've tried that.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. Because I don't want people to look at my art and see the AI version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, do you
Totally.
see what I mean? Like when you see it moving, the AI kind of like takes liberty into,
It's very
um,
impersonal. Like, it loses its voice in the signatures of your own style.
yeah. And I think there's a sacredness in, especially with comics, where you can, um, create the book and somebody having that book right here in front of them and just being like immersed into that world, and there's a participation there, there's with the reader and what you created. And to I would hate for that to be polluted in a way where it's like they saw something I posted online with the drawing and it's an AI animation of that drawing, and then when they see the drawing in the book, then it's they're just thinking of that, how
Yeah.
it looked in the animation. And I
Sure would be cool if this whole thing was animated like that. That's what they're
Yeah,
thinking. Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get off the controversial AI topic. I'm right there with you, though. It's like the genie's out of the bottle, and the
It's
momentum
fine.
is too
Yeah,
great.
I mean, we'll
Yeah.
we'll we'll survive.
I was telling, well, Guy
Yeah.
Dorian
Yeah.
and Ian. Yeah, I was
Yep.
talking to Guy the other day, and we came to the same consensus on it. It's like we're not stopping it. People just need to figure out how to pivot and how to kind of live in this world where it exists. But
Yeah.
okay, so pivoting. Speaking of pivoting, I wanted to ask you, how has storyboarding like influenced the way you approach creating your comics? And do you see a lot of overlap there? Because I would think with storyboarding, you are almost doing panels in a sense, and you're
Mhm.
choosing your camera shots and everything. Has that helped in your creation of your comic, or do you feel that there's a lot of things that translate, tools that you've utilized or learned through storyboarding? Are you applying those to your work?
Um, yeah, the same skills apply, the same knowledge is applied. Um, in the beginning of drawing skylights, in the first like, and you'll be able to see it in the first like two issues, or
Mm-hmm.
first, especially in the first issue, I felt a hindrance because of storyboarding. Because with storyboarding, I was very much holding back,
Right.
and they want things to be very kind of tight and generic. And when I mean tight, I'm not talking about drawing wise. I'm talking about um, expressive, expression wise, and the life that you feel like you want to put into it. Sometimes you got to pull it back
Right.
a little bit. Um, and not that it's like animation, like I'm trying to get cartoony, but I'm just meaning like sometimes things have to be very vague in order to get things to the next past the client.
Yeah. Yeah, in comics, the comics are unbound, man. You
and
could
it's
pretty much
static,
do whatever.
and you wanna try to, push it a little bit, and it's up to you, like where in the point of the story where sometimes you just want to do a base hit, and other times you want to hit a home run. And so
Right.
sometimes you can't do home run, home run, home run, home run.
Yeah.
You want to pace the story. You want to pace the just like a song would be paced. You want to go in and let it, like, maybe it's not exciting and then it builds up, and then you're like, wow, you want to surprise people. You want to make mm, a rhythm to the overall story, and
Yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, Daniel Warren Johnson talks about that a lot, how he looks at it like music. Because, I mean, he
Yeah.
is a musician, so that makes sense. But he talks about beats and the rhythm and everything, and, like 1, 2, 3, and then having the big thing happen and all of that. So I think that's a very good analogy for it, is like looking at that and how that creates the way the viewer perceives and consumes your story.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Now, how long ago did the idea for Skylights start kind of percolating in your brain? Is this something that you started writing or put ideas down for quite a while ago?
What's funny is it started out with a scene of um, four people, uh, a man, a woman, and two children running away from uh, like a compound in the desert, and the military vehicles chasing them,
Yeah,
and a helicopter swooping in, and then one of the children using telekinesis to defend the four of them,
right.
and crashing the helicopter into an explosion. And I actually storyboarded that scene before I did the book. I storyboarded that years before for my portfolio, which got me my first storyboard agency representation.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's how it started. And I was very kind of like into the idea of like indigo kids and children that were um, of a higher level of consciousness
Mm-hmm.
and all that kind of thing. And I've always been fascinated with UFO
I
conspiracies.
was
And it
gonna.
was just,
I have a feeling
like,
we are into a lot of the same things.
yeah, right. I
Our
mean,
YouTube algorithm is probably very similar as far as what we watch.
it's about the mystery of what we don't know, that is there's a quote, I forget who it's from. It's and it's like the job of art is to deepen the mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that is a through line in all of the stories I want to tell, is the longer I can maintain a mystery within the story and keep that imagination going alive throughout the story, even to the very end and beyond the page, is something that is very fascinating to me, and what kind of drives me
Yeah.
to do a project. That's what I want to do, is that's how stays interesting for me, is like, we don't have all the answers. We don't have all the, it's okay to not know. And where that unknown can take us is more inspiring than any other comic, or the life is inspiring. The world is
Definitely.
is interesting. That's where, like, the stories that I want to tell come from. you know
Are
just the
you
world.
are you planning on this being something that you kickstart, or
Yeah.
you have a okay, so you're going to do the Kickstarter route.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
I'm coloring it, and then when I finish that, which is soon, I'm gonna cut together a little trailer, and so hopefully next month there'll be a
Oh,
trailer.
nice. That soon. Getting a
Yeah,
trailer going. Sweet.
yep. get a trailer. I got to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
And people could already sign up for a mailing list on my website, and they'll automatically be added to the pre-launch.
Cool.
So I don't have the pre-launch yet, but it will, like, if you sign up on my website, you could be notified for the book.
Sweet. And is this going to be several issues that you're working on? Are you doing it more like graphic novel style? What's your plan
Graphic
with that?
novel.
Nice.
Yeah, which is pretty dumb to do, but I'm doing it simply because of the story kind of demanded it to be that way. It
sounds like something it's going to be broad in scope, so it needs more than just like a single issue. It needs to be compiled.
Well, I felt like I tried the single issues when I released like a couple digital single issues of the first, second, and third chapter. I was testing out Tapis and what's the other one? The scrolling web comic. It's all
Webtoons
Korean.
or
Webtoons. Yeah, Webtoons. So I tried a couple things on there and releasing it early on there. But I had taken that all down, and I just wasn't into how it felt as far as being consumed in that way.
Right.
And it really is, I'm independent comics, and it really is like, do the book that you want to see. And that's where I'm at, is like, I don't care about anything else. What I don't have a market plan. I don't have like what the algorithm appreciates or what people want to see. I don't care. I don't care about that. I want to tell a story that I'm into, I'm excited about, and I want to do it the way that I feel like it has to be done and the way I want people to experience it. So that's what my compass is. It is conveying the experience without compromise, for better or worse. I don't even care if people don't like it. I want to like it. I want to enjoy it, and I want it to be something that I'm proud of. And let the chips fall where they may. I'll move on.
Yeah. No, it sounds, see, I find that when people do the project out of passion like that and do it for those reasons, it usually comes across in the finished product. So I like to hear that that's why you're doing it. You're doing it because you need to tell this story and you need to get it out there. And if other people enjoy it too, great. But it's something inside you that you gotta see to fruition, right?
Absolutely. I mean, this is not a undertaking that has a lot of rewards. We're by ourselves sometimes for a very long time putting this together, and without any evidence that anyone will buy it, like it, or even see it. And you have to be called to it. Aren't you tired of gimmicks? Aren't you tired of being sold and the gimmicks and all of that? And it's just like, I try to alleviate myself from that kind of thing. And
I want to see more original creations.
Yeah.
I'm tired of seeing, 20 issue ones of Batman on the shelf, or, the same characters we've had for the past, millennia. And we're sitting here.
Batmaned out, man. Batmaned out.
I will say I have very much enjoyed Absolute Batman. So I'm not crapping on Batman, but it's just, I want to see creators being One, I want to see creators be given the spotlight again, but I know the big two kind of felt burned by the Image Boys back in the day, and they kind of, I don't think, want to promote the creators as much as they used to and give them too much spotlight, because if they leave, then they think a situation like that's going to happen again. But I want to see new ideas, and I want to see creators doing their thing. That's why, like, I enjoyed Daniel Warren Johnson's stuff so much, because he's out there doing his own stories, and he puts these books out that you can tell, just like what you're doing, he's putting that passion into it, and it's because he needs to tell that story he has inside himself.
And I think, the story, when a story comes to get a little, spiritual about it, is I think that when a story comes to me, like, nobody else can tell that story.
Right.
It's going to be directly through my filter. And it came to me for a reason, and I feel like that's a blessing. And it's part of that calling of, you get into art, whatever the medium, there's a you're compelled to do it. If you're compelled to do it, it's like, I have to do this. I don't know how, I don't know, I don't really know the way, but I have to do it. I think right there, if you have the fortitude to keep going and to not give up and to follow that inner compass, that inner voice, then I think if for no one else, for you, something great will happen.
Yeah.
And I think agree. It's a compass that I think that people should follow more. And
yeah. I think a lot of people push that voice down and ignore it. Maybe sometimes because they don't think they have the means of doing it, or they're too worried about what other people will think of it. And it's like, just do it and get it out there for yourself.
Yeah, I'm still just doing it. I mean, it's easy. And just do it is like such a the
Shia
deceivable
LaBeouf
thing.
Do it.
Just do it. It's like, but the just doing it part could take you years.
Definitely.
And it definitely has with me.
Especially when it comes to art, and along with being somebody into art, we usually are a little hard on ourselves, and perfectionism can kind of kick in and slow us down from time to time. Have you found that a challenge? Like, you started this book a while ago. Do you look back now and go, oh, I could do it better now? Maybe sure. I should do those pages over.
Oh boy. The temptation is there, but it's like, I have other stories I want to tell, and I have other things that I want to do. So and plus, to be honest, I really think the growth serves the story.
Right.
It really does.
Yeah.
Where things are very, like, sometimes 9-panel grid, and then things start to open up as the story goes, as I become more comfortable with the
as
medium.
You become unbound from the shackles of storyboarding. And it's
perfect. It really goes with the story, and I'm just like, that's what it is. That's what it wants to be, But that's awesome. Like, your 5th degree black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, how did you start getting into that? That's what I want.
So I've always been into martial arts. Like, I never wanted to be in traditional sports or anything as a kid. Like, I'm very big and tall, and everybody was like, "Oh, football. Oh, let's get you in basketball." And I'm like, "No, I want to do martial arts," And from watching, like, Saturday kung fu movies and everything else. And so eventually my parents got me in martial arts at the age of 10, and I was in karate for about 9 years. I got my 1st degree black belt in karate, and shortly, a couple of years prior to that, was when the first UFCs came out, the first Ultimate Fighting.
Yeah, I remember.
we all saw Hoist Gracie, this little Brazilian guy, beating up these bigger guys and taking them to the ground and choking them out and tapping them out. And a lot of us were like, how's this guy doing this, man?
Yeah.
And that
It was real life Street Fighter. That's
yeah,
what it
that
felt like.
sparked the curiosity and made you question everything you had trained, all those years prior, because this guy's coming in here versus guys from all different styles and taking it to him. A lot of people were, oh, that wouldn't work on me if I did my death touch or whatever.
It's so stupid. I'm so ignorant.
And, but some of us were curious enough to delve into it and try to figure it out. So I branched from karate to BJJ at the age of 18 officially, because I was dabbling basically we were trying to reverse engineer what we were seeing him do, me and some of the other karate guys, and trying to practice on our own. And then I eventually came to the realization that I need to just do this full time, because I'm not learning as much as I could be just dabbling with it. So I sought out instruction, and here we are 30 years later, full-time, BJJ instructor for the past 21 years now.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's the Cliff Notes. There was lots of different, synchronicities and weird connections that came back around and led to me, because I wanted to be a professional comic book artist. That was my goal as a kid, Yeah, that was my goal. And I've never let go of some of that dream. I still draw a lot and everything, but my life took that other path, and it just led to what I do. And I am doing one of my passions and hobbies. What was a hobby is my full-time livelihood now.
But I think that is, you could have a warrior mindset in all different parts of your life. Whatever it is you do, you can get so determined to do something, to accomplish something, that it becomes an art.
Yes.
Where and we can learn, like artists, creatives can learn from athletes as athletes can learn from artists.
100%.
Different things, and there's takeaways. The thing that I think that applies to both disciplines is the idea that you're not going to believe in yourself every day. You're not going to have confidence every day. You're not going to know if what you're doing is going to work, whatever that definition is for you. But if you have discipline, a schedule, and a routine, that becomes something you can fall back on the days where you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in what you're doing, and you just show up. You sit there, or you go to the gym, or you take that run, or you show up at the mat, you bring your sketchbook and you draw everything you see while you're waiting for the bus, or on your lunch, and that becomes a win. And when you do that, that's what builds confidence. That's when you start, I don't believe in myself today. This is so stupid. I need to get my shit together. But there's still that, like, just show up, just do it.
For sure.
Just go at it. And suddenly your confidence starts to go up. You know?
Yeah, through being regimented and just showing up and being consistent. Like, consistency is one of the biggest factors. I mean, people really often get discouraged. And, Coach, I can't train every day. I'm like, yeah, most people don't train every day. Most people train a couple times a week. Like, everybody has this idea of what they want to do. I'm like, start with one class a week. Do that every week. You're going to be surprised.
And a misconception is that rest is not a part of the training when it
exactly.
is. Resting, paying attention to other parts of your life. It's like, there's plenty of times where it's like, I can't sit down in the chair and draw another page before I get some chores done.
Yep.
Let me clean the dishes. Let me take out the trash. Let me get myself together. And now I feel like, let me get at least a panel done. Let me get maybe that panel turns into a whole page.
Exactly.
I solved the problem for tomorrow's day,
I think being okay with chipping away at things is a good, like setting small goals. Like people often set these big lofty goals, like in anything. And I think I tell my students, like, give yourself a goal for your training session today that is so small it's impossible to not achieve.
Right.
And then you'll be surprised how many more things you exceed and do beyond that. Like I'm gonna grab the guy's uniform with this grip at least once in one of my sparrings today. Well, that's everybody can do that, right?
Apply that technique.
Yeah, and then you go away like with a win. It's a small win, but it's a win.
But I applied that thing that I was shown yesterday or 2 days ago, and I'm applying it now.
And for you, it could be like, I'm just going to work on a panel, and then you get in the zone and you're a couple I did more than I originally sought out to do.
And, sometimes it isn't even, the win can come from just spending some time thinking about it.
Yeah.
I can't sit at the chair again. I didn't get to it today. But what did I do? I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about that problem where I was stuck or that solved that just wasn't there when I was tired. And now I'm going to try that tomorrow. Let me hit the ground running on Monday. Let me hit the ground running tomorrow morning and try that. And I think that just keeps the momentum going, where it's like, there's no really clocking out when you're doing this stuff.
Yeah, and the rest and recovery, guys. I always joke. I say, talk to me after 45. It becomes even more and more important.
I'm 46. Yeah.
Oh, you're looking good, bro.
You're 45.
No. I say after 45. So you're after. Okay. I got you by a few years.
Oh, really? I could tell. I thought you were younger than me.
Oh, look at all this beard, bro. The gray in the beard. Yeah, that's where it's hiding. That's the wisdom. Yeah. Rest and recovery. It's okay to take a rest day every now and again. But you also need to know when you got to push yourself too.
Yeah. The pro athletes will stress how important that is, where it's like, if you take maybe say Sunday off, if you've been working all week and you take Sunday off, right? The probability of you being more productive on Tuesday and Wednesday just skyrockets, where that day off, like those days where you're productive because you took that rest day, will make up for any time that you took off.
Yeah. You end up getting ahead a lot of times as a result of that.
Yeah. So that's like that's like pro tip right there. It was just like, burnout is not something that's going to benefit you,
Yeah. People often hold that up like a badge of honor. Like, I didn't sleep for this many days. It's like, well, what could the quality of what you did been had you taken a little rest, though?
Well,
would it have exceeded,
Right. I would say to those people, look at it this way, where the amount of discipline it takes to take a knee, the amount of discipline it takes to, we're on Nerdy podcast. So it's like, when Qui-Gon is fighting Darth Maul, right?
Yep.
And Darth Maul's pacing and the walls come out.
Takes his little Zen break.
And he just goes down. He's like, takes that moment. I'm going to center myself. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to gather myself. What a perfect example of just, okay. He loses, but
all to get a lightsaber in the gut, and then in modern Star Wars now, everybody gets stabbed through the stomach and survives.
Yeah.
Why'd they have to do our guy Qui-Gon like that?
What a great character. I love that guy.
Awesome character.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But, yeah. These things are, the biggest goals we have are like marathons, and it takes a long time to break into something where it's not a given for you. It's not in your world, and you're trying to get to that next over the wall and over across the yard and across the field and to a new realm. It's like you got to be able to pace yourself. You got to know when to take breaks.
Definitely. With Skylights, are you doing all your own lettering and all that too?
Yeah.
Dude, coloring,
I enjoy
inking,
all of it.
Lettering. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working digitally, drawing and doing the letters and colors in Photoshop. And the letters will be in Illustrator and compiled in InDesign.
So you still like drawing in Photoshop? Is it kind of your
it's what I'm so used
zone?
to, but like I would like to switch over if I see enough. I don't want it to hold me up the learning curve into the next book, and then I just want to
Clip Studio is a pretty smooth transition from Photoshop.
Yeah, I may take some time to transition just because it's such a serves creating comics so well.
It does, yeah. But see, in Photoshop, like your routine, like you have your brushes you like, you have your workflow, so it's hard when you're in a rhythm to now I'm gonna take time to learn this new thing. And
so after 200 some odd pages, I'm at this point where it's like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing.
It's over 200 pages.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
And well, I don't want you to give anything away, but is it gonna leave us wanting for more? Is there room for the story to go beyond where it concludes?
It's hard not to be biased, but I love the ending.
Nice.
I think people will really enjoy the ending.
So you made it more self-contained, so that if they pick this one up, they're pretty much getting the complete vision that you had for this overarching story.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think what you read it, what it's about, definitely when you're finished reading it, you realize there was a lot more.
Nice.
I don't know.
All right. So non-comic related question to wrap things up.
Yeah.
Are we going to get UFO disclosure of any type? Because you're my guy on you're watching all the same things I am. You're into all this stuff. I don't think we are. I think they're gonna just trickle little things here and there.
Yeah,
to the point where we're so just like accepting of it that they're not gonna really need to make an official announcement. It's like kind of we're already there. There's so much evidence, really.
Right. And I play into that idea with the book, and I was fascinated with the idea of human initiated contact, CE5.
Yeah.
And that's in the book.
Yeah.
And
Stephen Greer stuff.
Yeah. It even goes further back than that. So he's not the one that first came out with that.
I know. Us UFO geeks know that.
Yeah. So I don't lay too heavy into like factual stuff. I leave it where it's like the interest, it's not like hardcore UFO people, fans will probably find reason to hate it because it's not specific. It's not this
It's not
part
the
of the
thing they want to
UFO
happen.
theories and all that,
Yeah.
But it's comfortable enough to to just enjoy like the mystery of it, kind of in the X-Files way, where it would be like, but as disclosure goes, I think we don't get anything from the secret
Yeah.
entities, that
Yep.
and there's so much disinformation and that information. It's just like it who's to decipher it?
Yeah, it's so convoluted. We probably wouldn't even know what's real versus what's not real at this point.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not holding my breath for any disclosure.
Me either.
But
I don't need it either.
But in the comics, we get some answers. We can have some fun. Yeah.
Nice. Awesome, Keith. Well, I appreciate you spending this time with me today, man. I want to give you an opportunity here at the end to let everybody know all the different places they should be following you online so they can keep track of when the project's going to come out and everything.
The most active place I am is on Instagram, which is pretty low these days, but the link to my website is there. And if you click on that, you'll see right at the top where you can put your email in and you'll be notified when the book is released. Also, there's if you scroll through, I've been posting things that I've been, the production of the comic, panels here and there, and what the coloring is looking like now. Very, so you'll be able to decide if you are interested in maybe signing up to seeing more. And that's the best location. That's where I'm most active right now.
Perfect. And is your website just your name, keithmorange.com?
Yes.
Okay. And Instagram's the same, right?
Yeah. I think I'm the only Keith Morange on Instagram.
You keep it consistent, man. It makes it easy.
Yeah. No weird stuff.
Awesome, buddy. Well, listen, I had a great time. We could have done a whole podcast about UFOs, but we'll save that for next time.
Yeah, I'm happy to come back.
Awesome, man. Well, I know how busy you are, so it really means a lot to me that you took some time with me today.
Oh, I'm so happy to come on, and thank you for inviting me and
my pleasure,
having a good conversation.
We'll do it again for sure, and hang out with me for a moment. Everybody listening, the easiest, freest thing you can do to help more people see the podcast and all the awesome creators I have on is simply liking the video or doing a review over on Apple or Google. It helps greatly get that exposure up and make sure other people get to see the podcast. There's another layer of support if you want to go over to patreon.com/Nerdy Mewzings. You can do that as well, but you don't need to feel obligated. I do this for free and for fun, just to hang out with awesome people like Keith. And in the meantime, everybody, keep it nerdy.